Most people want to be rich, but never truly achieve wealth until they're around 80 and are far too old to reap their rewards. Now, I'm not even counting the millions of people who never actually achieve wealth. It's safe to say that getting rich is not an easy task. Or is it? Now, DeMarco says that getting rich quick is more than achievable, but getting rich easily is nearly impossible. And even then, when I say quick, I'm not talking about months or even years, but decades, because getting rich quick in a decade in the eyes of the wealthy is more than achievable. So, how exactly do we achieve so much wealth in such a short amount of time and achieve millions or even billions of dollars? Well, I'm not going to tell you the career you should pursue or a crypto coin that's going to blow up in a few days. Instead, I'm going to give you something way more valuable. I'm going to show you the very philosophy that DeMarco explores in his incredible book, The Millionaire Fastlane, that completely changed my view on money, on business, on wealth, and is the very reason I will never work a regular job ever again. To be honest, I wish I never read this book. A few years ago, I was graduating from high school and was ready to start my next chapter in life towards university with the sole intent to get a degree and find a nice, comfortable job to make enough money to live a nice, modest life. Now, while I was at university, I started reading and one book kept coming up.
This is probably the single best book I have ever read on how to build a business that makes money.
This book was mentioned over and over again with thousands of positive reviews, so I bought it and a few days later, it arrived. Now, the book is not only incredibly informative and concise with absolutely zero fluff that countless other books contain to fill up their pages, DeMarco's writing style is by far my favorite of any book. He is funny, he is direct, and litters the book with various metaphors and relatable job examples that really hit home. It feels like I'm being lectured by my cool Russian uncle who made it big and wants to give me his wisdom so I can join him in the big league. Alright, Michael, it sounds like he's a really cool writer, but what exactly is this book about? Well, let me introduce to you the 3 lanes of life: the sidewalk, the slow lane, and the fast lane. Now, every single person who works in some way or another follows one of these paths to success, with each representing a different mindset and philosophy that people carry towards money, wealth, family, debt, job security, and most importantly, how to get rich. Let's start with the sidewalk, or how DeMarco calls it, poverty. There are many people who have no financial plan for the long run. They never think long term, only in the short term, and they don't save or invest their money in any way. They are always looking for shortcuts to wealth, whether it be through gambling, lottery tickets, or that next coin that's going to skyrocket next month, according to his grandpa's best friend, Alfred. The scary part about all of this is that this is the majority of people, and I'm sure even when I mention all of this, you're probably imagining one or two of your friends who are like this. Even worse are the stats that DeMarco presents according to the US Census Bureau study released in 2017 that just shows how devastating people's perception of money, time, and debt really are. Okay? Number 1, a person under 55 is 69.7% likely to have zero net worth or even negative net worth. An estimated 54% of all households in the US have less than $100,000 in net worth. A person between 35 and 44 has a median net worth of $18,197. And even worse, if you are between 45 and 54, halfway through your entire life, and that's being generous, you have a median net worth of $38,626. Now, these are some terrifying stats, and yes, they were conducted a little less than 7 years ago, making them a little dated, but with the current trajectory of our world heading towards higher debt, higher interest rates, and stagnated incomes, those numbers are probably worse. Now, DeMarco presents a wealth equation for each of the paths. So we're going to start with the sidewalks, which is wealth equals income plus debt. Obviously, this looks stupid to anyone who even has the most basic financial literacy, but unfortunately, most people do not. So this seems accurate. If this sounds bad to you and somewhat similar to how your life is now, then the best time to start making changes is now. It has a very simple exercise, but it's very effective, where he tells you to imagine you just acquired $10 million. Then what? It's your job to break down every little thing that you would do with that money as specifically as possible. Would you buy a yacht? Why? Would you invest in ETFs? Why? Every statement must end with a why, and you will understand not only what and how you will live your life when you're wealthy, but most importantly, why you want to be wealthy. because most whys lead to family, friends, or purpose. Now we move on to the slow lane, or mediocrity as DeMarco puts it. Most people who are interested in building wealth choose this option. It's a simple plan that can almost guarantee wealth by retirement. Now that plan usually involves going to university, getting a high-paying job, living frugally for the rest of your entire life, investing in stocks or superannuation, and then letting compound interest do the rest of the work. Now, this is a guaranteed way to become rich. One thing is not certain in this plan though, and that is time. This plan is guaranteed if your chances of living to 60 are almost guaranteed, which unfortunately we all know is never the case. So most people who follow this plan live poor and then die rich because they never allow themselves to reap their rewards too early. And eventually it was too late and they died. Very unfortunate. Now the worst part is, if you do manage to make it to retirement and you start living the life, unfortunately your cognitive, emotional, and physical health are deteriorating at such a rapid pace that they don't allow you to enjoy your lavish life as fully as you had hoped. Now, here is the average mindset for a slow laner. Okay, number 1, debt is evil and must be avoided. Number 2, my time is abundant, so there is no need to worry about that. Number 3, education helps me to earn more money. Number 4, money is so scarce, so I need to manage it. Very constantly. Number 5, compound interest is my secret weapon. And finally, the slow lane wealth equation. Wealth equals job plus market investments. Now, this is much better than the sidewalks due to our higher levels of education and understanding in finance, but this won't get us rich quick. This will get us rich slowly and not guaranteed, okay? Due to the inevitable fact that death lurks around every single day waiting to strike. We want a wealth equation that guarantees our success for wealth as well as fast enough so we aren't 80 when we're driving our brand new BMW. Let me introduce to you the fast lane. Now, the fast lane, or as DeMarco calls it, wealth is the greatest path to success and wealth as it provides a clear, empty, trafficless lane that takes you directly to wealth in a relatively short amount of time. This is where numbers are very, very low, as not many people choose this path because, like I said before, yes, you can get rich quick, but you're 100% cannot get rich easily. This path is by far the hardest and takes the most risk out of all three. But if you have the confidence, the courage, and the open-mindedness needed for success, then you're almost guaranteed wealth. Let's explore some of the mindsets of someone who drives on this lane. Firstly, they believe that debt is useful if it allows you to grow wealth. Number 2, time is by far the most important asset I have. Number 3 is you must continue to learn every single day to grow. Number 4 is money is extremely abundant and will show itself when you provide value in some way or another. Number 5 is their primary source of income comes from a business system or multiple, as well as investments. And finally, their wealth equation is wealth equals net profit plus asset value. Let's break this down. Net profit equals units sold times unit profit. Now, when we talk about business, we found out how much we can make by multiplying how many of something we sold by how much of that thing cost. We can get rich quick if we sell millions of an item for a very low price or sell a few items for a very high price. The other thing is asset value equals net profit plus industry multiple, which is a multiple depending on an industry that they can sell their business for at this multiple due to its high or low growth potential. For example, if you're running a grocery store in 2009, the multiple would be 11.34 times, okay? So if your grocery store is worth $1 million, you'll be able to sell it for just over $11 million. How crazy is that, okay? That is the quickest way any one of us can generate wealth. Now that we know about these three lanes, which one entices you the most? The fast lane? Good choice. So, now we know where we want to go. Let's break down some of the most valuable tips DeMarco shares when it comes to joining the fast lane and in the end, becoming wealthy. Number 1, producer versus consumer. The first thing we need to understand is the importance of becoming a producer rather than a consumer, as the majority of people are consumers in some way. The people who created Instagram became rich, while the people who use Instagram remain poor. Learn to view the world through the producer's lens, because once you become a producer, you will inevitably become rich. Create and you shall be rewarded, consume and you shall be punished. Number 2, divorce money from time. Most people spend most of their time making money, usually through a system of X X amount of money per hour. This is inefficient and won't bring you wealth. You must learn to make money even when you sleep by creating a business system that can do so. For example, if you created a monetized YouTube channel, you can upload a video and generate hundreds, if not even thousands of dollars without doing anything, okay? DeMarco recommends 5 business systems that are the most effective for this, which are rental systems, computer systems, content systems, distribution systems, and human resource systems. Number 3, the law of affection. Most people know the law of attraction and believe positive thinking, visualization, and planning will help you achieve wealth. And in essence, they do in some extent, as you need to have a positive belief to start. But in the end, they won't actually get you far. They won't get you from $0 to millions of dollars. The law of affection will. Now, what is the law of affection? The law of affection states, the more lives you affect in scale and or magnitude in an entity you control, the richer you will become. Pretty much, in short, affect millions and you will make millions. It's that simple. Earlier we talked about net profits equal units sold times unit profit. Well, units sold is the scale and unit profits is the magnitude. Sell more and you will make more. So you must create value for people. You must help people in some way or another to make more money. If you create the cure to cancer, of course you will touch millions of people with your invention, and as a byproduct will make millions of dollars. The more you help, the more you will make. Remember that. Lastly, number 4, the sense framework. A lot of businesses fail for a variety of reasons, but wouldn't you like to know whether or not your business will be successful even before you start? We can use the sense framework to see if it will. Sense stands for control, entry, need, time, and scale. If your business meets the requirements of every single one, you can be 100% sure your next business will be a success. And if it doesn't, then at least you won't be wasting hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars on something that flops. So, number 1, control. How much control do you have over your business? What outside variables can affect your business in a negative way? If your business relies on something like a website, land, or partners, you can be sure that something can go wrong and your business can crumble, okay? Potentially. We must make sure that we have the least amount of variables to affect our business as possible so we have complete control over it. Number 2, entry. How easy it is to start your chosen business. If something is super accessible for everyone, then the market will become oversaturated and very difficult to stand out. But if something is super hard to start and not many people are doing it, then with minimal effort, you can create grand returns. Find something niche and become the king or queen of that field. Number 3, need. This one is super simple. Do people actually need your product in some way or another? Does it help them in any way? If you're running a steakhouse in a vegan neighborhood, I don't think people need you very much. But if you found the cure to cancer, I think quite a lot of people need you. Okay? Super simple, need. Number 4 is time. Another very simple one. How much time is required for you for this business to be successful? Now, it's important to separate initial time with constant time, because initial time is the time it takes to get the business off the ground. And of course, that will be a much higher number than constant. But if your constant time is relatively close to your initial, then it's time to stop. We want to be able to make enough money to hire someone else to manage our business, so our schedule is relatively short. Remember that our end goal is for money to work for us, not for us to work for our money. Last, number 5 is scale. How scalable is your business? If you have a sandwich shop, how can you scale it? Maybe you can turn that local business into a global franchise, but it is still weighed down by its local area. This compared to an online company like Facebook, where it can be seen by anyone, anywhere, as long as they have internet and a device, is much more scalable. We need to ask ourselves, is our business scalable in the long run? And if so, how? If you can't answer that question, then move on to your next business idea. Now, that's everything I found to be the most important when I was reading this fantastic book. As always, I would highly recommend reading the entire book, as I did just scratch the surface of some of the things that I found the most important, and there might be stuff in the book that you find even more important, okay? I'll be putting a link to the book in the description below, and make sure to like and subscribe. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a loved, blessed day. Take care.